With the Johto Tour now over, let's actually review and see if it actually was good or not. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? It's yours truly, Fitz. How you doing? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go over how I did in the Johto Tour, and I'll give you my review, among others, on Twitter as well, of the Johto Tour and how it went. So, right off the bat, let's go ahead and look at my Pokemon, and let's look at Shinies recently caught, if I can spell. Or Shiny. So, we got a Slugma. Now, what's crazy is I got this Pokemon in the last hour of the event, along with the Sudowoodo, and along with this Gloom. So I'll go ahead and segue into one of the very first things that was cool about this event. Evolutionary secondary lines were shiny. So Gloom, Poliwhirl, Golbat, Pokemon like that were shiny in the wild. Extremely rare because a lot of people didn't catch these, but extremely rare, but still really cool, and that's something that should be implemented in the game anyway to make going out and hunting Pokemon at least that much more enjoyable, that much more thrilling, that much more exciting. But what's nice about this Gloom is I do still need Blossom, so this is very nice. I also did need this Sudowoodo and the Slugma, by the way. And then also I got a Girafarig, one of the new rare shinies for the event that launched for the event. One I definitely wanted to get. Wooper, I actually needed this. We had that Wooper like 24-hour bonanza where it was literally nothing but Wooper. I clicked on over like 500 of them, no luck. Wooper's been out since then for a little while, still no luck. Finally, I got a Wooper. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Gligar, so funny story about this. I didn't actually need this. I was pumping gas, and I told my girlfriend to say, hey, will you check on my instant spawns? Well, she tried to click on a Seadra that was there for, you know, the extra Stardust. She accidentally clicked this, and it was shiny. At first, I was upset, but as you can see, the rest of the event went pretty well for me, so it definitely didn't ruin any of my shiny chances. So, hey, extra shiny Gligar. I can trade to somebody who needs one. I hatched a shiny Togepi. So hatching, if you didn't buy incubators, it was probably gonna be pretty tough for you. But if you bought incubators, which was the only event that I ever condoned buying incubators due to this specific reason, you had a very high chance of hatching at least a shiny baby of any kind. One thing that was interesting is Igglybuff was my quote-unquote shiny chance increased rate of hatch. And I barely hatched any Igglybuff, and I didn't hatch any shinies. Which also goes into, there's the free shiny Gyarados. I did hatch another Smoochum. I needed this one really bad. Ho-Oh from a raid because that was boosted. Very nice. And then Spinarak. That was actually supposed to be boosted on my instance. And that actually is going to go into the next thing that I think was kind of interesting with the event. Is boosted shiny rates with instance or your version's boosted shiny rates, I feel like they didn't work very well. I clicked on a ton of Mantine, and I feel like I should have gotten a shiny Mantine with the amount of clicks that I had. And same thing with Spinarak. If it's truly boosted, you should probably get 1 to 2 guaranteed, like almost kind of like community day rates, because community day rates are pretty high. I figured that's what it was going to be for the instant spawns, and then for the other Pokemon, obviously just slightly boosted for your specific version. But it was weird because again, I didn't get any shiny Igglybuffs from hatching, and no Mantine whatsoever. And then some Pokemon in the wild, I never got shiny too, that was supposedly supposed to be boosted. So I found that kind of strange, almost like it wasn't really working. So overall, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 shinies. 11 shinies overall for the event, which is actually really good. I got ones that I needed, and that's basically the most important part. So let's go ahead and talk about the spawns. The spawns were fantastic and they were plentiful, but each hour definitely had their pros and cons. Like there were a lot of Pokemon that you might have had already shiny and you didn't click on them, and you really didn't click on anything for that matter, for the most part. But like Pokemon in the first hour, like Meganium and Feraligatr and Typhlosion, like you're seeing here, those were absolutely fantastic spawns and really worth catching during the event too, for not only XL candies, but also Stardust as well. So spawns, I feel like, were definitely pretty well-rounded for the most part. The fact that you could catch wild Tyrannitars, stuff like that, allowed you to kind of grind towards certain Pokemon if there weren't any shinies that you needed during that hour. So it made it kind of more laid back, and you could kind of go hunt for what you wanted and what you needed, as opposed to feeling overwhelmed. Now, another thing about being overwhelmed is all the stuff you had to do to complete in the game. Yeah, you didn't have to do it, but it was overwhelming at first. But the fact that it was from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., I feel like it was enough because it did keep us busy. I really did like that. A lot of people felt overwhelmed and didn't like it, but I really did like that. Now, another thing is going to be the raids. The raids were actually fantastic, and I loved the flexibility. I loved the flexibility of the raids, where you could raid at anything you wanted, anytime, throughout the entire event. The flexibility, that was probably the best flexibility for raids I have ever seen in the game. Except, there was one issue. Corsola had regular shiny odds. But what I mean by regular is like regular wild odds. So it was like 1 in 280 or like 1 in 285. If you got a shiny Corsola, you currently have pretty much the rarest shiny in the game. My girlfriend actually got one. And a lot of people were upset about that, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you should be rating shiny Corsola just to have it. Maybe get some candy because it actually can be viable in Great League. And also just for the trading purposes, because some people, you know, didn't get a chance to ever do these or get them. But trying to get a shiny after we found out that the rates were absolutely horrible, I mean, that's on you. But people did get shinies. People did get shinies. Overall, I think the event was pretty good. The fact, again, I'll reiterate, the spawns were plentiful and they were very well spread out. And a lot of things weren't rare. A lot of things weren't rare. You could find Tyrannitars if you looked for them. You could find wild Steelix. You know, in their respective hours, you could find those Pokemon if you went out and looked for them. I liked that there really wasn't a rarity to finding the Pokemon. So that's one. Spawns were fantastic. 2, raids. You could do whatever you want, whenever you want. The raid flexibility was the best I have ever seen. The best I've ever seen in Pokemon Go. You weren't pressured. We got 9 free raid passes. We got 3 remote raid passes for free. Like, we got plenty of things for free to kick off those raids. And then, of course, if you wanted to spend money to exponentiate your experience, you could do so. 3, the eggs were really good, and your shiny rates were actually pretty good as well if you spent the money. If you didn't spend the money, then it's, you know, the egg hatch distance was still small enough to where you could hatch plentiful eggs even with a free incubator. And then last thing is all the tasks were really good, and also all the researches that we had to do, like the cash challenges. Those are really fun. Those are really good. Now let's go into the negatives. What were some of the negatives of the event? And I want you to tell me how well you did and what your pros and cons were in the comment section down below. The negatives were the battling the trainers. That was annoying. And apparently you could pick a line where instead of catching, you could focus on battling, and they were everywhere. That was definitely a main complaint. Corsola shiny odds, definitely a main complaint, obviously. Other than that, some people were complaining about shiny odds, but that always happens. That always happens about the shiny odds. So it was, I just don't think overall there was any issues per se. Some people did have connection issues, and if that was you, I apologize for that. There was no increased trade range. That was definitely, I would say that's a problem. The Go Challengers and Balloons would have been a better help for people who couldn't go out. Definitely agree with that as well. That's not necessarily an issue, that's more of a quality of life. This one was terrible, spent too much time due to freezing and crashing. Yeah, see, so some people had a bad experience and some people didn't. Obviously, I actually know who this is. I don't think they had problems the whole time, but they did come up. See, here's the thing. The increased shiny rates weren't 100% accurate either. Like, Sneasel already has a boosted shiny rate. Draft Rig obviously would be a normal shiny rate, and Hoppip was supposed to be a boosted shiny rate. So the boosted shiny rates I feel like weren't good enough, but then you have people like this, where they got all kinds of stuff. They got all kinds of stuff. One plus, obviously the legendary beast being in the wild was fantastic, but a minus was they're hard to catch. And actually, I understand why they did that, because it's supposed to, you know, correlate with the legendary beasts like fleeing in the wild and you have to chase them. But come on, for this event, did you really have to do that? But yeah, other than that, I think the event was really good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the flexibility. The rewards, the raids, the XL candies and raids, the rare XL candies and raids as well. The flexibility for the $12 price tag and what you could accomplish during the event, it ultimately boiled down to you. So look at this person. They went ham. So at the end of the day, if you didn't have a good time, maybe think about why. If you did have a good time, think about why. Think about what could have made the event better, and think about what maybe you could have done to make it better as well. If there's anything you couldn't have done, then obviously that question doesn't apply to you. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. A lot of people seem to have a good time. Generally, the mass consensus is that it was a pretty good event. I agree. If we can have another one just like this, I think it would be fantastic. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Be a part of the Fitz City fam. That's it, the boy Fitz City. I'm signing off. I'll see you guys in the next Pokemon Go video.